We're recording. 5-minute presentation. I have Palm prompt cards. I have feedback forms, and I have a information handout as well as some of my resources. Okay. Hello and welcome to today. Thanks for joining me out here in this lovely quiet little spot. I thought it would be a perfect place to have a discussion, have a quick chat about something that I want to bring to the table with you guys. So thanks for taking time out of your schedule.
No problems.
You're welcome. So what I want to discuss with you today briefly to introduce the topic is road safety, and especially road safety at work within the GLOS Enterprise family for all of our road users. And we'll be talking on tips for travelling to and from work, during work, for purposes of work, and outside of work, like in your own leisure time and things like that. I know we don't like to mix work and home time, but it carries through, and I think it's important because at the end of the day, we want to see everyone come back to work safe and sound. So this is something for folks to take home, you know, to get it into their consciousness. And the goal is, obviously, is to keep everyone safe on the road. Okay, now is there anything that you need to ask before we move on?
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm good. All right, thank you. I'll continue. So the first little topic is travelling to and from work. So from leaving home in the morning to getting home at night. And the idea is then, just to reiterate with folks, is to plan your trip. Even if you wake up late, you miss your alarm, don't just like, oh, I've got to grab everything and go. It's actually plan your trip, how you're going to get there, and to avoid the whole rushing scenario, because we don't want, things like rushing then creates errors, poor judgments, things like that. We tend to make mistakes when we're feeling rushed about things. And check your weather forecast and your road conditions, because you might have a change of route because there's roadworks, or there could be some rainy weather coming and things like that. So I think it's just important to stay aware of those things and to plan ahead. Yeah. And to feel confident that everything's under control, that there's no surprises for you. Okay. Is there anything that you want to add or ask with regard to any of that? Okay, so the next little heading we're going to address is the travel that you do during work. Now, whether that's booking out a company vehicle to go to a meeting, to do errands, or to go to a conference, whether that's overnight or what have you, it's always important, especially because you're representing GLOS Enterprises, is follow the road rules at all times. That's really important. We want to set a good example, and we want our drivers to know that associated with this company, and we want other road users to know that we're a safe company on the roads, and we'd like to put that forward. On long breaks, especially if you're involved in conferencing and you're driving a company vehicle to the conference, if it's elsewhere, if you can carpool, that's great. Share the load, swap your drivers around. If you can't, and if you're on your own, then take breaks every couple of hours on those longer trips. It's recommended every 2 hours. You stop, you go to the bathroom, get a cold drink, things like that. Have a little walk around, refresh. And of course, a no-brainer is use your seatbelt at all times. It's no excuses for not wearing a seatbelt. Seatbelts save lives. And not doing so can then create issues. And like I said, we want to see everybody safe, whether they're at work, going to work, coming home from work, or otherwise. Is there anything that you'd like to add at all at this moment?
No, pretty good.
Okay, wonderful. I will continue. The next topic, heading that I want to throw your way, is days off and personal travel. So even though you come to work and you're with GLOS Enterprises, it carries to home as well. So you might be on your best driving behaviour whilst at work, but we would hope and encourage that continues outside of work, because at the end of the day we want you back at work safe and sound. So don't drive tired. So if you're going away for the weekend, breaks, be refreshed, things like this. And a brief statistic is in 2024 there were 78 deaths in New South Wales alone on the roads. That's really high, and those numbers are actually increasing. So in the development of this topic, which I'm working on, I'm going to illustrate that number that's growing in that session, and avoid distractions. And distractions is code for mobile phones, basically. And so be vigilant, focused, and again that can also come down to how long you're spending behind the wheel, so taking breaks. So because if you get a bit tired, you're less inclined to focus. So, and distractions can be your phone rings, you want to pick it up. If you've got Bluetooth in the vehicle, I think pretty much the majority of our fleet have the Bluetooth installed. You should be able to tune your phone into that and use it, or a hands-free setup. But if you don't have that availability, if you can find somewhere to pull over, or just avoid it, unless of course it's important. If it's not important, it can be the call can be returned later on. Someone can leave a message. And if you're planning on being away from home over a weekend and that kind of thing, share your plans with somebody. So if you are single and you live solo, if you've got a neighbour or a friend or someone or a workmate that you can let them know, I'm going away for the weekend, this is where I'm going to be, I think I'm going to get there at this time, this is the road I'm going to use. So long as someone knows where you're going, because if for whatever reason you have a breakdown or whatever, you can be located and given assistance. Is there anything that you'd like to pull up?
Drive to survive.
Great words. Great input, thank you. So next I'll just move on to general safety tips, which is what I would like to include. So wear a seatbelt. Wear a seatbelt at all times. Like, there is no reason not to wear a seatbelt. I mean, it's there for a purpose. Please use it. You hear some stories and you see some videos and things like that, and it's really not cool. So wear a seatbelt at all times. Obey the speed limits and the road rules at all times. So whether you're at work or not at work, you're still representing GLS Enterprises, because you are working with us and for us. So even if you're not at work doing whatever, driving around for your role, people still know who you are and who you work for. So it would be really great for you guys as representatives of the company, even in your own personal time, to show that you guys are really safety conscious, especially when it comes to driving. And I think that's really important, and we're trying to encourage a really great safety culture around road safety. And one thing that sometimes is overlooked or underestimated is awareness and vigilance around pedestrians and cyclists. We've seen in the news in more recent times pedestrians and vehicles interactions and cyclist and vehicle interactions, often leading to serious injuries and fatalities. And we don't want any of our people involved in any of that, whether you're the cyclist or the driver. So vigilance is really important. So we want to save everybody that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to ask or add?
No,
This
not
stage?
really. No.
Okay, all right. So I'll just conclude this, because this is really an introductory presentation on this specific topic that I'm very passionate about and that I would like to take further and develop further within GLS Enterprises. So in conclusion, road safety protects lives. We have rules and regulations for a purpose, and it's all about safety. Safety for you and everyone else around you. And I feel that it's fortifying our duty of care to have this conversation and to bring this to light. Think ahead and stay calm. So all your pre-planning, your road conditions, your weather conditions, you're planning your route, you're planning how you're going to get there, staying calm in if a storm appears or you get into peak hour traffic or you take a wrong turn. That's really important because then that keeps you on par with where you're meant to be. And so that sort of brings us to the end of this brief conversation, this introduction to this topic. So just a quick question for you guys is there anything that you'll take away today or that you will implement today that you haven't done before, that you haven't think that you've done? Or
Make sure you're wearing your seatbelts.
yes.
And be alert.
Yeah. I think it's fun because we do this because it's just habit and we know what we're doing. We don't really think about what we're doing when we're driving because we just get in the vehicle, we put the seatbelt on and we drive. But I think just sort of bringing that to the forefront is important to keep things fresh in people's minds. So it's something I've been working on for a while. So thank you for hearing me out. This is just a preliminary introduction to the topic of road safety. And I really hope that if you wouldn't mind, I've got feedback form here that I'd like to issue you both. If you don't do it today, that's fine. You can fill it out and maybe email it to me, and then that'll help me develop and work on things and what have you, make any improvements. And please feel free to list any comments that you might have. And this is a basic road safety tips handout, which I was thinking I'm going to include, and we can use this in our company vehicles on like a palm card that just has, we can post them, we can have them, sort of around the place as posters on the lunchroom notice boards and bulletins and things like this, just to keep it in everyone's consciousness. So I'll get a second copy done for you, or you can just email it to each other, and that's just your draft just to have a look at. And so is there anything that you have at all, or are we?
No, we're pretty good.
Yeah. So I just wanted to present this to you because it's what I've seen with regard to the work that I've done with GEOS Enterprises in our policies and procedures is there isn't actually a specific road safety awareness one, and I'd like to actually bring that up so that we're abreast of everything. We're all about safety and keeping all of our people safe, both at work and in leisure time as well. So thank you both very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
And I will email you guys and we'll reschedule another appointment to develop further.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.